is up, my friends and family? I'm Charmx, and today I'm going to be reacting to Reading More Fables, I Swear I'm Not a Furry by The Odd Ones Out. Now, I have seen some of the Odd Ones Out videos before, and they're amazing. Like, the way they're drawn, it's really, it's awesome, and it's really adorable. But, yeah, so nonetheless, hopefully this is going to be quite interesting. I'm not really sure what we're getting into here, but without any further ado, the original link's in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to The Odd Ones Out, and with that being said, let's begin.
I think we humans find things covered in hair more cute. We're more attracted to things covered in hair. And that's why I'm a furry.
Hey, James!
Hey!
Now, that's debatable, right? Because not everything covered in hair is cute. I mean, like, those people that have genetic issues where they look like a werewolf, I don't think I would say that's cute, necessarily. And some animals that have fur can look horrible. Like that, there's a mole, I believe, and it looks like this. I think it's something like a star-faced mole or something. It's some weird name, but it is absolutely disgusting, and it has hair on it. And it's not cute. So that's a debatable statement.
Hey! Furby, everyone's gonna put on $2,000 animal costumes and walk around. Do you want to come?
No. But don't let me stop you from this hobby of yours. I may not understand why you like it, but as long as you're not harassing or hurting anyone, or anything, then do whatever makes you happy. Also shower regularly and eat your vegetables. So, in the last video, I made a haha joke about being a furry. I said given the choice between an animal with fur and one without fur, that most people would think the animal covered in fur would be cuter. And if we applied that logic to people, then everyone would be a furry. I got a mixed bag of responses to that joke.
And as I said, it's very debatable because furry animals, like if you have an animal without fur and then you have an animal with fur, of course the one with fur is going to be cuter than the one without it. I mean, have you seen a bear without fur? It is like one of the scariest things ever. Look at this. Terrifying. But I think with humans, it's kind of like the opposite way around. Because a lot of people don't like body hair, right? So you have someone with a lot of body hair compared to someone without much body hair. You know, the one without much body hair is the preferred. So although it's one way with animals, it's the opposite with humans.
Okay, I was looking at all the comments about James saying he's a furry, and in my opinion, it shouldn't matter. If James is a furry and he told you, that means he trusts you and thinks that you would accept him the way he is.
What?
I don't care, I'm not watching him anymore.
Well, that's really nice of you, Mr. Branch. But I still don't trust you. A lot of people were confused, so for the remainder of this video, every time I make a joke, it will be followed by this message. 2 muffins are in an oven. One says, boy, it's hot in here. And the other says, yeah, you live in Arizona, what'd you expect? But I'd say for the most part, you guys were very accepting. So that's good to know if I ever do want to come out as something. But if we wanted to talk about someone who is a furry, then look no further than 600 BC. You have to look pretty far. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this man named Aesop. Aesop. Asuabwe. This man was the world's first furry.
What?
Okay, I'm calling him a furry because he wrote a lot of fables with talking animals in them, so I'm making fun of him for writing a lot of furry fan fiction. I'm making fun of a dead person. I made a video about a year and a half ago
It's pretty morbid.
reading some of Aesop's fables, and that video is what this official Odd Ones Out shirt is referencing. Fables are short stories, usually with talking animals that have a moral at the end. Characters in fables don't have names. They're just simple cookie-cutter characters. You don't have a fable with Michelangelo and Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. No, you have a fable with the tortoise and the other tortoise. So I'm gonna read some more of
Tortoise and the other tortoise? Don't you mean the tortoise and the hare?
Aesop's fables, but I'll be focusing on just one character, the fox. The fox gets around. You could pick any animal and a fable exists with that animal being taken advantage of by a fox. The fox and the triceratops. That fable probably exists. With the amount of fables the fox has been in, you'd expect him to be more moral than Gandhi.
Aw, look how cute it's drawn. I love it. The Odd Ones Out makes probably some of the cutest animations on YouTube, in my opinion.
He liked foxes. His persona was probably a fox. The fox and the goat. So once there was this fox eating some cheese, he wasn't looking where he was going and he fell down a well. The fox had no way of getting out. Then a goat just so happened to be walking by and said, hey, what are you doing down there, you silly goose? Actually, I'm a fox, said the fox. I was just drinking some of this lovely water. Is it good? Oh, it's only the best water in the entire universe. So the goat decided to jump down and join the fox. But then...
Oh no. The fox eats the goat? That's what I'm thinking. Why wouldn't the fox try to get help to get out? And then you can eat the goat afterwards. But no, you just had to get the goat to come down.
And the fox used the goat. He used her as a stepping stool to get out of the well. The website I'm reading this from has an interactive picture that shows the events that happened. Let's watch.
Better than I can animate.
So then the goat says, "Whoa, buckaroo, aren't you gonna help me out?" No. Instead, I'm gonna teach you a moral. If you had as much sense as you have beard, you would have been more cautious about finding a way to get out again before you jumped in. Look before you leap. You stupid idiot. Okay, goodbye. But...
Is that actually how the fable goes? It's weird.
Fox, you fell into the well too. You were the one not looking. The goat looked, you just lied to her. And you got away with it. So the real moral of the story is, you can abuse the people in your life with no consequences, as long as they end up dead in a well. The fox and the crab.
That's one way to look at it.
This fable is pretty short. Once there was a crab who was tired of living next to sand, so he decided to move to a meadow. And then a fox ate him. That's the real fable! It counted as one of...
That's a real fable? The guy who wrote this really must have been like out of ideas at this point, if that was the whole thing.
Aesop 665. And the moral is, be content with your lot. Don't move, don't travel, don't try and live in a better location because a fox might eat you! Just live in your studio apartment and deal with it! The lion?
Be content with your lot. Really? That's the moral there? If you're living in a rough neighborhood where it's very dangerous just walking out, outside, I think it's a good idea to move. That whole idea of, be content with your lot, I think that's a load of BS. I really do.
The bear and the fox. This baby goat, he's a kid, went up to a lion and a bear and said, "Have you seen my mom? I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. She said she was gonna get some water and a pack of smokes, and she hasn't come home." But the bear and the lion didn't care. They started fighting each other over who would get to eat the baby goat. And then a fox jumped out of the bushes, killed the kid, and ran off with it. I wonder how much Aesop got paid for these. Again, the website has a very nifty interactive picture that shows you exactly what occurred.
I can't wait. That's it?
And the moral of the story? Those who have all the toil do not always get the profit. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Seems to me the moral should be, don't talk to lions and bears, and watch out for foxes. The fox and the grapes. Basically what happens in this fable was that once there were some grapes growing on a really tall tree. Do grapes grow on really tall trees?
They grow on vines. So the person who wrote this, they didn't even know how grapes grew. They don't grow on trees, they grow on vines. So unless the vine is in the tree, this makes no sense.
Maybe they did in 600 BC. And the fox really wanted some of the grapes. Do foxes like grapes?
No.
Maybe they did in 600.
Actually, as a side note, I believe grapes are actually harmful to dogs because my dogs aren't allowed to eat grapes or onions or chocolate, or I think there's a couple other things that my dogs can't eat. But the reason is that their liver, I think, turns whatever the grapes consist of into some kind of like chemical or something which can harm the dog. And I believe since foxes are, I think they're related to dogs, that they would have the same kind of problems. So I don't think foxes should be eating grapes.
BC. And so he tried to get them himself, but he couldn't reach them. And since the fox didn't want to ask for help, probably because all the other animals hated him, he said, I didn't want your sour grapes anyway. There are many who pretend to despise and be...
It's such a cute animation, I love it.
Little, that which is beyond their reach. Which is where I think the phrase, money is the root of all evil came from. People were upset that they couldn't get money, so they just said, I didn't want your evil money anyway.
Man, these fables are like really weird. I mean, the plot of most of them don't make sense. And then the whole like, the moral of the story in them doesn't make much sense either. And I, who am not the smartest person ever, I can debate them easily. I mean, they're just bad. Anyway, I hope you guys did like this video. If you guys liked it, I'll try to react some more of the Odd Ones Out. I've only seen a couple of the Odd Ones Out videos, so there are a lot here that I have not seen. But yeah, I hope you guys did like this. This was adorable. I mean, the way the fox was drawn was really cute. But yeah, if you like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend if you're new, and subscribe to join the family today, and also make sure you go subscribe to the Odd Ones Out if you haven't already. Without any further ado, I'll see you guys next time.